Commercial food service is a high-energy, high-stress environment. But if you want to pull real money out of that chaos, catering consistently delivers some of the best returns in the industry. Every new caterer faces an immediate fork in the road. You either build a drop-off operation or you commit to full-service catering. That single choice determines what your daily schedule looks like, how much stress you take on, and exactly what percentage of the revenue you actually get to keep. Full-service catering gets all the hype. It promises the large $5,000 and $10,000 weekend paydays that look great on a bank statement. But those giant checks come with steep upfront operational costs and heavy labor overhead that drains the cash before it ever reaches your pocket. On the other side is drop-off catering. It carries a reputation for lower stress, even though the individual payouts per order are significantly smaller. To find the truth, we have to strip away the event glamour and look exclusively at the cold, hard math behind a standard order. Choosing your catering model based on social media prestige rather than mathematical reality is a fast way to burn through your startup capital and burn yourself out completely. The drop-off model is built on physical simplicity. The vast majority of the work happens right inside your own controlled kitchen environment. You don't buy or wash expensive dishware. Instead, you rely on a minimalist packaging system, packing the meals safely into cheap, disposable foil pans. You load those pans into a vehicle, drive them to the client, and set them on the counter with some serving tongs. There is no on-site setup, and there is no teardown. Because of that, your labor footprint is tiny. Once the food is dropped off, your job is completely finished. Zero dishwashing, zero guest management. This chart shows a standard $1,000 drop-off order. Food and packaging take a $300 bite. A single driver handles delivery in under an hour, so deduct just $70 for labor and gas. That leaves $630 clean profit, a 63% margin. Because the turnaround is fast, a small team of a kitchen helper and a couple of drivers can execute 5 or 6 of these drop-offs before lunch is even over. The trade-off is volume. To make real money on smaller individual ticket sizes, you have to consistently secure a high number of daily clients. Drop-off catering trades event prestige for these 63% margins, turning high-volume orders into fast, reliable weekday cash. Now look at the full-service environment. These are the high-end events like weddings, graduation galas, and charity dinners. Pulling these off requires expensive physical logistics. You are bringing in and renting real china, heavy silverware, and crystal glassware. You also take on a massive shift in labor, hiring a dedicated team of servers, bartenders, and kitchen helpers who stay on site for 8 hours. Let's run that exact same $1,000 baseline order, but this time as a full-service event. Here is the full-service math. Deduct $250 for food costs. Event payroll for a 4-worker shift immediately drains $400. Add $100 for dish rentals and transport. You're left with $250 profit, a 25% margin. Compared to the 63% you keep on a drop-off order, the full-service math is thin. The reason any caterer willingly accepts a margin that low is ticket size. A 25% margin looks small on $1,000, but when you scale it across a $10,000 wedding invoice, that single event hands you $2,500 in absolute profit. Full service is a high-stakes leverage game. You trade operational efficiency and percentage margins for larger ticket sizes, which requires serious operating capital to float the upfront costs. Making the right decision comes down to matching this math against your bank account and your personal tolerance for risk. Let's start with the Bootstrapper. If you are a beginner with high hustle, very low startup capital, and an urgent need for immediate cash flow, this is you. This matrix charts capital against profit margin. Drop-off sits right here, in the low-capital, high-margin quadrant. For a bootstrapper, this model is mandatory because it shields you from payroll risks and rental liabilities. Then there is the empire builder. This is an entrepreneur who already has access to capital, wants to manage large teams, and is focused on executing prestigious, high-grossing events. To survive the full-service route, you have to manage your pricing to protect that fragile 25% margin from being wiped out by a single event disaster. Pick just one of these models, and your life goes in one of 2 directions: relentless weekday hustle or high-stress weekends. But there is a third path. The optimizer refuses to choose between high margins and huge ticket sizes. From Monday through Friday, this operator runs a consistent weekday strategy, packing their schedule with high-volume corporate lunch drop-offs. Those 63% margins pile up. They act as a rock-solid baseline that pays all fixed business overhead and guarantees the owner's salary. With the bills paid, they leverage that secure financial baseline to become incredibly picky about booking weekend full-service events. Because there is no financial desperation, they simply turn down the stressful, low-budget weekend jobs and only accept the most lucrative premium weddings. The smartest food businesses use both models together. They use drop-off catering to provide a consistent financial floor and full-service events to maximize their total annual earnings.